Today we're going to be working with circle and line graphs. I know this is not a new concept to you because we've done this in math and other subjects. So you should be on page 198 in your book. Let's take a look at reading circle and line graphs. Our vocabulary for today are graph, circle graph, and line graph. Why the skill matters. In the last lesson, you read many facts about immigration, and some told you the number of immigrants who arrived during a certain period. Others told what countries immigrants came from. It's hard to make a conclusion from a lot of different numbers. A graph can help you make conclusions. Graphs are special diagrams that show information in a clear way. By presenting facts in a picture, they tell you a lot with only a handful of words. I could come here and give you a whole bunch of numbers, but when you look at this picture and I ask you which piece is the smallest or which country had the smallest number of people that came, you're going to find it instantly just by looking at the picture. Using circle graphs. Look at the graph on this page. It's a circle graph. This kind of graph shows you how the parts of something make up the whole. This is math. These are fractions. Because each part may look like a slice of pie, a circle graph is also called a pie graph. Read the title of the graph. The circle shows the number of total immigrants. The total number of immigrants who live in the state of New York today. Wow, it's getting long. The slices of the graph show the number of people who came from each continent. You can tell that the largest number of immigrants came from North America because this is the largest slice of graph. This one is the biggest. Using a line graph. Unlike a circle graph, a line graph shows you how a piece of information changes with time. Look at the line graph on page 199. Start by reading the title. The title tells you that this is a graph of immigration to the United States from 1850 to 1990. Let me flip over there really quick for you to see it. This is the one they're talking about on the next page. Now you can have your book open to both pages. It's hard for me to do that. There's the line graph, and you can see that is how things happen over time. Do you see how the time is changing? It started in the past. It tells you it's going from 1850 to 1900, and then the population this way. This is kind of like a game of Battleship. You have to look at the year, and then you follow up to the dot and over to see what the value is. So let me flip back to the other side and finish reading for you. Okay, it's a graph from 1850 to 1990. Read the labels at the left side of the graph. These numbers give the number of immigrants. Then read the dates at the bottom of the graph. They tell you the years these immigrants came. Trace the line with your finger. Each dot on the line stands for the number of immigrants who came that year. And you can see on the graph that the year with the fewest immigrants that they came was 1930. So I can see it's the fewest because it's the lowest to the bottom. You can see how the numbers go up, so the bottom would be the lowest. So 1930 is just a little bit lower than 1950. So this would be the year when the fewest people came. And this came from a census taken in 1990. And right now, maybe your parents have received something in the mail about a census that they filled out. Okay? So at the top of the page, it says this. Try the skill. Now study the circle graph of immigrants in New York State. What continent has sent the fewest immigrants to New York State? I'll stop and see if you can find that answer. And the answer was Africa. Now look at the line graph of immigrants to the United States. In what year did the most immigrants arrive? Right, 1990. And then it says about, because we don't know it's exactly because it's a spot on a line, about how many immigrants arrived during that year. So you want to go over to that year of 1990, look at the number of immigrants, and you can see it's close to this line. Let me get my graph for you. It's close to this line, so I'm going to trace it over. So that's 1,500,000 immigrants could have come that year. So review the skill, helping yourself. Circle graphs show how the parts fit into the whole. Line graphs show how a piece of information changes over time. When you get to a graph, you want to study the title, the key, and the labels. And you can use graphs to compare facts or figures. All right. So here's a little thing that you can go through to review. Maybe mom or dad or sister or brother can help you review these skills to see if you can answer those. And then you'll be going onto a workbook page and completing that to submit to me to show me your skill. All right. Hope this helps.